Hello. Hi. Will, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Oh, excited for the Broncos football draft coming up. We're going to be live, Will and I, on the main channel, That's Good Sports, during the draft. May have a special guest.
Maybe.
Not sure, not confirmed yet, but let me tell you, huge. It is big. Melvin Gordon coming back to the Broncos. Going to talk about that. Peyton Manning doing some nice work in the community again. And then Will and I are going to do a mock draft of the things we love about the draft. So a draft of the things we love in the draft, right?
Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. I wouldn't even call it a mock draft. I would just call it a draft.
A draft of the things we love in the draft today.
Yeah, exactly.
Since there's not a lot left to discuss before we get into the actual draft, where maybe the Broncos trade higher up into the second round, or maybe they get into the first. New owner coming this year prior to the season, so we'll jump into all of that. Today's episode brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. You just use code DNVR when you sign up over at DraftKings to do your NBA playoff betting, and you can do some draft day betting. Lots of fun props in there. And, of course, my coffee company, benchwarmerbrew.com. Right now, you can get not a deal at all. It's the same price as always at benchwarmerbrew.com. Unless you sign up for the subscription service, then you get like 20% off, 25% off. You can have coffee come once a month, once every 2 weeks, really however often you want it. But please, my beans are delicious. All right, Will. Let's start with the relevant news. Something I didn't think would happen until after the draft, if I'm being completely honest.
Mm-hmm.
But Denver Inc.'s running back Melvin Gordon to a new 10-year, one-year deal worth up to $5 million. My instant reaction was yes, love it.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you because, I mean, you said it's up to $5 million with incentives, but right now the guarantees are $2.5 million, which is very reasonable, probably an underpay.
Yeah.
I don't know what the market was like for him. We know that he visited with the Ravens, and the Ravens, they have a couple of running backs coming back, including J.K. Dobbins and I think Gus Edwards. So they've got a pretty loaded backfield. I think he saw the opportunity to – I don't know if he's going to split carries again. He's obviously way too good to keep off the field, especially in the red zone.
Yeah.
But I do expect Javonte Williams to get more carries this year. I think they were both at about 200 carries apiece last year for 900 yards each. But Melvin Gordon was the impact back in the red zone, had 10 touchdowns. He also did have 3 fumbles. Not a ton of fumbles over the last 2 years. He's got 5 to his name in Denver, but they all seem to come at especially bad times. That kind of swung. I don't think they were coming back in that Eagles game, but that was the nail in the coffin. And then I don't think the Chiefs fumble in week 18 was really his fault, but
100%. Well, I mean, I would say 90% was not his fault. Like, yeah, that's a blown play where he got hit as soon as the ball basically was handed to him.
Yeah, see, he kind of gets he has a reputation for this stuff, which is like kind of half deserved. But I think the positive has always far outweighed the negative for me with Melvin Gordon. And yeah, I'm really happy to have him back on a cheap deal. And I don't think it precludes them from taking a running back very late in the draft. Yeah,
I mean, they definitely could. They don't have to address the running back position. His 10 touchdowns were, like you said, the most on the team. I think 9 were rushing, 1 receiving touchdown. Maybe Javonte had the second most, or Tim Patrick. That's a lot of touchdowns. And
yeah, for a bad offense.
Red zone, if all of a sudden you're worried about Melvin Gordon, Russell Wilson being able to throw it or, extend a play, run it. Like, that's a very dangerous red zone offense. And I think you take a chance when you're trying to maybe shift that to Javonte Williams or a rookie. More than that, the real issue too with like Melvin Gordon's fumbles, like if you go to last year, he had 3, but he lost. The Broncos lost all 3 of those fumbles. So there are other backs who fumbled 3 times last year, but didn't lose. They lost maybe 2, lost 1, so it doesn't seem like as big of a deal. Jonathan Taylor fumbled it 4 times. This is the wrong one. Austin Eckler lost 3 fumbles. So, it's so much the timing of Melvin Gordon's. Was it the end of the Washington game on back-to-back plays where Javonte fumbled and then Melvin fumbled away the ball? Yeah.
That was, I think I blocked that out of my memory, but that was an incredible instance of trying so hard to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory.
Yeah.
But they did win that game, which is a testament, I think, to the 2020 Washington Commanders. 2021.
Yeah. So I like it. I think Gordon, we saw him many times. He's a good running back, and he does like Javonte is really good at breaking tackles, and I feel like Melvin Gordon, just more experience, a little bit better vision, a little bit more of a threat in the passing game. Although we saw when they really leaned on Javonte, he had a great game. So can't go wrong. Either of those guys could be injured this season. Like, you don't know. It's all of that stuff. It is cheap, very cheap. So happy that Gordon's coming back, especially when the passing game is going to be a threat. We saw that big, 70-yard touchdown Gordon had week 2 or week 1. Was it week 1 or week 2? I forget.
Week 1 in New York.
I think there'll be bigger plays like that in the running game because the box isn't going to be so stacked.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think they were successful in an offense where the quarterback couldn't really, Teddy Bridgewater didn't have the arm strength to get it more than 45 yards down the field. Drew Lock didn't have the accuracy to hit balls deep. So the defense didn't really have to respect that. Now you get KJ Hamler back, who's going to stretch the field and force safeties to play deep. You got Russell Wilson's deep ball ability and just his overall arm strength. So the fact that, like you said, the box is going to be a little bit lighter. I love their opportunity to just churn up some yards this year. And I think I feel the same way about Kareem Jackson coming back as I do Melvin Gordon. One, it kind of proves that, this isn't just like a tune-up year with Russell Wilson. Like, they're going to try to win. They're going to try to win the division. They're going to try to win the conference. They're going to try to win the Super Bowl. And secondly, I like that, Kareem Jackson played really, really hard for 3 losing teams, 2019, 2020, 2021. So did Melvin Gordon in 2020 and 2021. And now that we get the guy at quarterback, their patience is rewarded with a 1-year contract and an opportunity to actually win some games.
Their patience is rewarded with undervalued contracts on very team-friendly deals.
Sort of. Yeah.
Kareem's getting older, so that's a little bit why the safety market's kind of skewed in the Broncos' favor, and running back market is just fucked permanently, especially for a running back who's been in the league a few years, especially right before the draft.
Yeah, and it is. I think it's a testament to Melvin Gordon's versatility because it's not like the same offense. They're going to a different blocking scheme essentially.
Yeah.
So he can do a lot of things, and I think
there's a good chance he's over 1,000 rushing yards this season. Boom. Cold take me if that's not true. Mark it, book it, clip it, love it, list it.
That's pretty bold.
1,000 rushing yards for Melvin Gordon.
I'll say no. I don't think so. But I
A
think he's going to
thousand
be really
rushing
good.
yards. Here's my prediction: 1,000 rushing yards for Melvin Gordon, 1,000 rushing yards for Javonte Williams, 1,500 receiving yards for Cortland Sutton, 1,100 receiving yards for Jerry Jeudy, 800 for KJ, 900 for Tim Patrick, 75 Broncos touchdowns this year. Offense, 10
I think
defensive touchdowns. Do not fuck with this team, is what I'm saying. Greatest offense of all time. Heard it here first. Most turnovers forced by a defense.
did the 2013 Broncos. I don't think they even scored 75 touchdowns. They
Ooh.
probably scored like close to 70.
I
'Cause
know.
you got
I
the
know. No
55
Sean
from
Moreno.
Manning,
Yeah, no Sean
56
had.
from 56 from Manning with the one rushing touchdown.
Yeah,
Don't forget about that one.
and no Sean had 10 touchdowns. I'm trying to think
Combined.
how many of those were rushing though.
Plus, you had a few Monte Ball touchdowns.
Yeah, what are they at? Like maybe like 70 TDs total.
Probably 70 TDs. I know Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie had a touchdown return. Plus, you had a couple Trindon Holiday touchdowns.
Yeah, but that doesn't count for the offense though, right? Or does it?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll look it up. 75 is you got the extra
75
game.
Russell Wilson
75.
Denver Bronco touchdowns.
Brock Osweiler didn't have any touchdowns that year.
No. Come on.
He had one in 2014.
That was the highest scoring offense of all time, right?
16 rushing touchdowns, 55 passing touchdowns. So 71.
71.
Not
Russell
bad.
Wilson and the Broncos offense going to get 4 more than that. Ooh.
Good God, dude. 5 players on that team had
Yeah.
10 or more touchdowns.
Yeah. Welker.
Welker.
Moreno, Julius Thomas, Demaryius Thomas, Eric Decker. All 10 tutties, right?
Yeah. Even Andre Caldwell had 3 touchdowns.
Bubba. Yeah, Bubba.
That's what we're looking at this year.
Hell
I think
yeah.
we're trying to break 71 touchdowns.
Hell yeah. All right. Also saw, I think it was Front Office Sports that, and we've kind of been hearing this, but it's also been a little bit of a gray area, but sounds like a new owner for the Broncos will be confirmed before the start of the 2022 season.
Good.
And now a new stadium is really picking up steam. So we've talked about it every other week, I feel like, but it seems like both of those things are going to happen.
Yeah. Ownership, I like that it's going to be resolved sooner rather than later. Stadium, I think I hate it. I think what I really hate is the retractable roof idea. And I know it's kind of where NFL is headed architecturally, because you want to host a Super Bowl and you want non-football events. And we've evolved into a league that hates weather and conditions now, because we are a pass first league,
soft ass league.
But I hate it. I love the conditions. I have sat in Mile High in 3-degree weather, and
It sucks.
It sucks, but it's also it's wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, what if they promise to always keep the games open-aired, unless it's like, a legit blizzard where they wouldn't be able to even play the game unless they close the roof?
Yeah, but how often does that happen?
Not very often.
Not very often. Yeah, I don't know. I just like because there's a difference between opening a roof and having an open air stadium. And you can just see it like when you're watching a game. And
yeah.
I just love the sunlight too.
The natural sunlight on a grass field, stadium, a little bit of wind.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think part of what made the first Mile High so great, and then, whatever the fuck you want to call this stadium, it's been through, I don't know, half a dozen names.
Right.
It's like the atmosphere. It's the Mile High City. It's outdoors. It's usually pretty good weather, but maybe you get it dumped on with snow in October or November. Like, part of those elements are kind of part of like the Broncos history. It's with the Bills too, getting a new stadium, you think about having to play in Buffalo in December, and that's tough. Or
it's a huge advantage.
Yeah,
for the home team.
Usually it is. But if they if it was retractable, but they made a commitment to keeping it open all the time, unless they get a Super Bowl and for, indoor events, I'm okay with that. But
even the Super Bowl, like, you could probably open it and be fine. Like, how often?
Yeah, only if you need it for the Super Bowl.
How often in February in Denver is it like pretty nice?
A lot, especially as the earth gets warmer.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was like 89 degrees at the Super Bowl in LA. They needed the roof for a different reason.
I would love if they had a Super Bowl in Denver. I might actually go.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome. I think it's a long time coming. They could have had the Super Bowl so many times here already, and it would have been fine. But they had the Super Bowl in New York in terrible weather, and that was obviously a shit show.
That was a bad game for the Broncos.
Probably the only reason why we lost.
Yep, only reason.
Besides injuries and the Seahawks holding Demaryius Thomas every other play.
And he still set the record for most catches in a Super Bowl.
Yep. So I'm going to blame that on that.
Of Demaryius Thomas, Peyton Manning and Ashley Manning have announced a Demaryius Thomas scholarship endowment at Georgia Tech. So they are offering scholarships at Georgia Tech. Demaryius Thomas's honor through their foundation. Just a pretty cool thing to honor DT's legacy. I don't know if there's a lot to talk about that, but I wanted to mention it before we did our draft of the draft.
I think one of the things that gets lost about Demaryius Thomas and Calvin Johnson too, who was there at Georgia Tech right before DT got there, is that is not a passing offense. And they were such freaks that they made it work in an option offense. And I don't think that's ever going to happen again. So really, really special player. And obviously, glad they're doing that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's all the Broncos news we really have. We've exercised our draft predictions. Do you think it's more likely, Will, they package a bunch of picks to get back into the first, move up in the second, or we see them trade away some of their picks to stock a couple extra picks for 2023?
I think Peyton is going to get so antsy waiting for a full 2 rounds that he's going to move up in the second.
Yeah, I feel like that's what's going to happen. They're going to see a position group they really value where they know they can grab a guy they're high on. And Friday night, we won't have to wait till the very end of the draft. We'll see them make their pick. We'll probably go live right when they do that. So
that'd be
keep an eye out for that.
That'd be a lot of fun.
I'll be live on DraftKings Sportsbook, probably getting in on that friggin' action. I mentioned you can do some draft bets. They've got a lot of player props, which is pretty fun, but also NBA playoffs are happening. So you can get in on the action with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. This week, new customers can bet $5 on any team to win and get $150 in free bets instantly. You win no matter what. And we got the Nugs fighting for their life tonight against the Warriors. What's that?
They're scrappy.
Oof. Man, if they were hell. If they had Jamal Murray, poor Nuggets. All DraftKings Sportsbook customers can also bet during the first round with same game parlays. Combine multiple bets from the same game for a bigger payout. The more legs you add, the more money you can win. Place the same game parlay each day with 3 or more legs and get up to $25 back if one leg doesn't hit. So download DraftKings, link in the description. Download the app now. Use code DNVR. Bet $5 on any NBA team to win their game during the first round of the playoffs and get $150 in free bets instantaneously. That's code DNVR. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Got to be 21 or older. Colorado only. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-522-4700. Okay, Will, we're going to draft our favorite things about the draft. Na.
Please don't sue us for using that music. How are we going to decide who goes first and who goes second? Should we do rock, paper, scissors?
Yeah, rock, paper, scissors is fair. Okay. We'll each make 5 picks about our favorite things from the draft.
Oh, no, you have to.
Haha, psych. Ready? 1, 2, wait. Yeah, on 3, we'll start.
Okay. All right.
1, 2, 3.
Rock beats scissors.
That's a claw.
I don't think claws are allowed.
I put paper and then I tried to cheat. So I'll give you the first pick.
Why would you try to cheat with paper? Because we
were so off time. I was trying to,
It's difficult to do over.
Claw beats them all.
Over a
That's
street.
What they don't tell you in school.
In what situation does paper actually beat rock, though?
A paper cut on Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
I would rather, paper cuts hurt, but I would rather get a paper cut than a rock cut or just a rock bludgeoning.
Yeah, but if a paper is covering the rock, nobody can find it.
Fair enough. No argument for me. That said, I'll be picking first.
Yep. All right. With the first pick in the 2022 That's Good Broncos favorite draft moments of the draft, Will Keys selects.
Yeah, this one, I really didn't have to think about it. I hustled the draft card up to the commissioner. I'm going with first overall, the Chimes.
Oh.
The pick is in Chimes. That is one of the most erotic sounds, I think, ever. And
yeah,
it's iconic. It is, it's music to my ears, quite literally.
Okay, so Will Keys picks the Chimes. Mark, this is Will.
Mm-hmm.
Good, because my number 1 pick, and I didn't even have to think about this, it is unequivocally Roger Goodell getting booed. I love when it happens, when it's strong throughout the entire first round, but when he first comes out and the boos are the strongest, that's my favorite moment of the draft. And to be honest, I kind of hate that he's embraced it. It's taken away some of the power of the boo. He encourages it, but God, I love seeing it.
I think the strongest thing to really mess him up at this point would be to not boo at all. Just silence.
Oh, absolute silence.
I think that would throw him off his game quite a bit.
That would be, that would really mess with him.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen. It's hard to coordinate that kind of effort, but I would love to see that at some point.
Yeah, no, I would too. If the draft comes to Denver, I will campaign to silence Goodell.
Silence him.
All right.
Okay.
With the
Third
third overall pick in the 2022 favorite moments of the draft, Will Keys selects.
Yeah. This one is near and dear to my heart. And this is something that's taken place for a long time. It is quasi-tradition. Every now and then they do the right thing, but I've got the Raiders screwing up.
Yeah, that was probably going to be mine.
It's so predictable. It's so much fun. Darius Hayward-Bay was a great one. Most recently, Cleveland Farrell was just totally inexplicable.
Was that third or fourth overall?
I think he was fourth overall. And he was slotted like in the 20s, the mid-20s.
The highest.
Nope, we're taking him fourth. And then the king of all the Raiders fuck-ups is, of course, Demaryius Russell, which is the first year I watched the draft. So actually the first pick I ever saw was Demaryius Russell.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, when they could have had Calvin Johnson or Adrian Peterson, Patrick Willis, Darrelle Revis, the list goes on and on. Joe Thomas, nope, Demaryius.
That's a solid second pick there, Will.
Thank you.
Yeah, the Raiders screwing it up. Love it. I hope Josh McDaniels carries on the tradition there.
He's got some experience already.
Yeah. So I will use my second pick for the first reach / curveball. As
Curveball.
First reach in the draft. Now, you could say this is part of the Raiders' MO, right? But it's like the first, 10 or 15 picks. It's you expect it. And then suddenly a team, and maybe sometimes it happens late, like the Seahawks are pretty good at being at the end of the first round and taking a third round guy as well.
Rashad Penny. Yeah.
Yeah. I just like when all of the kind of analysts and announcers are just like, I didn't see this one coming. Now, this is a solid player, but most teams believed you could get this guy in the third or fourth round.
I had him mocked in the fourth round, personally.
Yeah. Interesting. And I think this is a good draft where that will definitely happen probably a couple times in the first round where it's second round guys, but somebody teams are really high on and they just go after them. So honestly, the Jags could do it. The Jaguars could do it because now Trayvon Walker is the odds-on favorite to go number one overall. And a month ago, it would be a reach by them. So I like that. And I like it for the player. Like, imagine thinking you're not going to like the third round and you know this one team might take you high and then they do. And you're like, fuck yeah, I just became a first round draft pick. That's like a lot more money you just made.
It is, significantly more money. I'm thinking like Peyton Turner last year with the Saints, who I admit I just had never heard of. I just had not heard of.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Yeah. So that leads me to my third pick, 6 overall, which is maybe 5th overall. Who's keeping track?
It's 5th overall.
My pick is when an analyst doesn't have a scouting report for a player.
Yeah.
Like when they get to the later part of the draft and they're like, I got nothing. I don't know who this is. I've not watched his tape. I've barely heard his name. Usually it happens in the 6th round. You'll get it for the first time.
Yeah.
But it's like the ultimate sign that teams are just like throwing darts. And this is, it just kind of goes to show like what a joke it can be in the later rounds. But it's always fun. It's always fun when guys who've studied like 500 players are just totally baffled.
Rich Eisen in the NFL Network does this now where they've turned it into a bit where it's try and stump the van. So it's not whether they have like the scouting report, but it's just whether their information department has any info, like on that player, and it's very rare where they don't have something there. So that's a little different than having the scouting report, but that's when the draft is. It's they're on hour 20 of live TV and just like, we got this guy coming out of this weird college. Like, do we even know about this college? Is also
that's a good underrated one. Just learning about different colleges that exist.
Yeah.
Like we've got a guard from Oberlin College. I don't think Oberlin has a football team. In fact, I think it's pretty unlikely. Also, I knew what Oberlin was, but you get the point.
Yeah.
Wisconsin Whitewater, Quinn Miners. First time I've heard of that school.
Oh, yeah. All right. So my third pick, man. I'm going to go. I mean, this is hard to argue. It's when your team is finally on the clock to pick.
Yeah.
So this year it's going to feel really nice, especially if the Broncos don't move up because they're at the very end of the second round. But like the last couple of years, the regular season hasn't been good for the Broncos, right? Very disappointing. You walk away after the season ends a little bit defeated. Then free agency comes, you get excited, and then there's this lull. And the only consolation prize of having a bad or underwhelming season, besides free agency, is the draft. You're getting a good player with the pick. So the Broncos picking at 10 the last couple of years, even when they picked at 4 with Bradley Chubb, man, those were just really exciting draft picks. And I'm happy that, hopefully we'll just be picking at 32 from here on out. But waiting for that pick to come in, knowing you don't have to wait a super long time, but 10's kind of great because you do have to sit through 9 picks. So you're antsy by the time it comes. Jerry Jeudy, loved it. Pat Surtain, I never questioned that pick at all. All.
There's no evidence.
Kareem Jackson spoke very highly of Pat Surtain, saying he's been like the most ready rookie he's been around. Kareem Jackson, also professional roaster of Benjamin Albright.
It was tough. It was a tough look.
But, yeah, that's hard to argue, I think.
Yeah, it's just a great feeling. It's a great feeling. I remember, too, like, it is almost disappointing, I think, when your team picks really, really early and, like, the Broncos pick 2nd overall with Von Miller and then 5th overall, I think, with Chubb. And so you have, like, a ton of, like, adrenaline and anticipation and energy for the first 5 picks.
Yeah.
And then there's kind of like a deflation. I remember after Chubb, like I was so like amped up that like by pick 13, I think I fell asleep for like 7 picks and just totally missed it. It might have been the first draft I was working for you too, but I feel comfortable telling you that now.
It's all right.
I will not fall asleep this year for sure.
No, we'll be live, baby. All right, Will, with your 4th overall pick.
Yeah, I am going to go with Mel Kiper.
Who? Mel Kiper?
Mel Kiper Jr.
Boom.
Yeah. He created the job, essentially.
Yeah.
And, who the hell is Mel Kiper anyway? A very iconic moment. His hair is up there with anybody. He will not be live at the draft for ESPN.
Oh yeah,
because
he's not vaxxed.
He's not vaccinated. We're not gonna have a referendum on that or anything, but that's disappointing, and I think that will lead to some kind of drop in ratings for ESPN because he is the draft for them after Chris Berman moved off.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, having him around and having Berman there.
Miss TV.
Yeah, when we were working on some of the videos and I was watching some old draft clips, Berman was the best. He was just
so good.
He's so good. Like, and I really like Rich Eisen. Like, I think he does a nice job, but the doesn't compare to Chris Berman. He could talk about anything. I think the energy he brings to it, the way he talked about football, and maybe it's like if you just grew up on it, it's kind of nostalgic feeling, but like,
yeah,
I kind of like I'm over Chris Berman now.
I still watch him. I still watch NFL Primetime on ESPN Plus
Yeah,
every week.
and like I don't know why I just kind of got tired of it, but then watching the old stuff, I was like, "Fuck, no, he was probably the best." Like I
He
don't
was
think you
good.
can argue anyone was better than him at talking about sports the way he does. And when I first started doing the show, like all my dumb nicknames and shit, like that's just like being a bad version of Chris Berman, right? It's
Yeah,
like,
kind of. He is a trailblazer. Like
so
he kind of invented that ESPN genre of anchor for a while. Like him and Stuart Scott
yeah,
kind of bringing that energy, a little bit of levity to highlights and nicknames and catchphrases and all that. He's got
yeah,
his own vernacular. Like my favorite Chris Berman kind of remark during the draft is when the Patriots drafted Teddy Bruschi back in like 2000, maybe 1999 or whatever. It's like, and I think we're all going to need a Bruschi after this one. It's like the 6th round.
classic.
Yeah.
And that's why Will loves Mel Kiper.
And that's why Mel Kiper is my favorite.
That's why Mel Kiper is the best Chris Berman.
Todd McShay can go kick rocks for all I care.
Fuck Todd McShay. Just kidding. He's all right.
No, he's fine. What you got?
Okay. My 4th pick. This is a new thing. And I'm glad you put this in here for an option, but I'm going with when a retired player announces a pick.
Yep.
Because this has turned into a thing where the retired players taunt and mock opposing fan bases.
Yeah.
Especially the successful ones. Was it Drew Pearson who kicked this off?
Yeah, Drew Pearson in Philadelphia back in 2017.
Yeah, 2017, Cowboys receiver Drew Pearson gets up there and just starts talking shit to Eagles fans. And it was amazing. It went viral. And now, like, you see a lot more players do it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who our retired player representative is going to be. I guess you could talk some shit to the Raiders fans, but I don't even know if there's going to be like that vocal of a Raiders crowd
In
even
Vegas?
in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
They'll probably put them all at the front to create the illusion that there are a lot of fans there. But
maybe they should just taunt degenerate gamblers in Vegas.
Yeah, maybe they should just like read the gambling problem hotline, like 1-800-GAMBLER. Or just like pass out IVs to all the hungover people.
All right, Will. 1 pick left. We're approaching 40 minutes.
I'll make this one
30. Let's finish this shit
fairly quick. And this is something that I'm feeling currently, and that is the end of mock drafts.
Oh
God, have I seen so many mock drafts this year? More than every year combined, it feels like, before this.
They're over.
99.9% of them are a waste of time, a waste of paper, memory, whatever. They're completely useless, except for the one that we did. That was actually pretty good for views. But damn, like there are like 2 that matter. And they all happen right before draft.
Yeah. During the live draft, we will be comparing Brendan Donahue's draft to the actual draft, and he is considered the most accurate mock drafter through the course of history. And also in 5 minutes, Will Keys and I will be doing our 2023 NFL mock draft.
Yeah. I've got Bryce Young going off the board first.
Boom. Okay. My final pick. Ooh. I like when the players get up on stage and are super excited around Roger Goodell, and they bump him or hug him or almost kiss him. But I'm going to have to go with the crazy thing that happens to a player right before the draft.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I don't love this. Like, I don't like that it happens to the player. But fucking Laramie Tunsil's gas mask incident is so ridiculous. He just turned it into an NFT, the video of that. So he's going to sell it.
I saw
that. And it's there's the money's part of the money's going to go to like legal defense fund for cannabis.
Should go to like World War
basically.
I veterans.
Yeah, but like
I think they're all dead.
That caused him to fall in the draft. What'd you say?
I said World War I veterans because of the gas mask.
Boom, nice. Okay, that was good. That was sorry. I was talking over.
It's okay. I talked over you.
Josh Allen, if you remember, some old tweets of him saying, was he saying, did he tweet?
I believe he tweeted the N-word, not like Josh Hader did, the Brewers pitcher, but like rap lyrics.
Yeah, it was, and he was like 13 or 14 when he did it.
Yeah. I think that was like that recently came out that was kind of like a false flag from one of the teams. That wanted to see him drop.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. So teams getting some info, leaking it to try to get the guy to fall to them.
Then you had the Lael Collins year, which was like not super funny at all. But there's like a murder investigation that he was involved in, and it led to him, I think, going undrafted.
Yeah, and the Cowboys then picked him up, right? Yeah, so it's like again, I don't like that this happens, but it's to me a really interesting part of the draft. It's happened quite a few times. I hope it doesn't happen, but you never know.
Yeah, we've yet to get, I think, like a Eugene Robinson moment where a player gets arrested like the night before the draft. I think if it were to happen, Las Vegas would be the perfect setting.
Oh, man.
Like, what happens if
what if the top 10 picks are all partying and they all get arrested?
I think if you all get arrested, then it's like none of you got arrested.
That's probably true.
But let's say like I don't know.
Aiden Hutchinson gets arrested.
Exactly. Good call on that one. Yeah, like that would really shake up the draft a little bit. For something like
murder,
serious,
not serious, like murder.
Yeah, something kind of whimsical like murder. Yeah. That would be a huge story. And then maybe, who knows, he falls to pick number 64, or the Broncos scoop him up and his name is instantly cleared.
Boom. Broncos get Aiden Hutchinson at pick 64. Heard it here first.
What if Kenny Pickett gets
touchdowns
arrested
this season?
Baker Mayfield got arrested like not too far removed from the draft. He still went number 1.
Yeah. All right. That's our draft of the things we love in the draft. We'll see you guys tomorrow on That's Good Sports, probably Friday night here. And then we'll have a podcast this weekend recapping the Broncos draft, so stick around.
And to round it out, I would say that guns don't kill people.
Russell Wilson kills people.
Nice.